Right, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Every now and again I like to do a Q&A video just to I just like to get on a level with you guys. I feel like it breaks up the car repair stuff and just allows me to have a bit more of a one-on-one, answer your questions directly. I don't always get to read all the comments and answer all the comments, and so every now and again I like to take my time out and answer some of your questions directly. If you follow me on Instagram, I asked you to ask me questions on my last post. I had a bunch of questions so far. I think there's about 60 questions on it so far. So I'm going to make my way through them. I'm going to answer them for you. I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability, and hopefully I can clear up some of the things that you guys have questions about. So before we get started, just want to shout out my Instagram. My Instagram is just The Savage Garage, so make sure you follow me on there. I post stuff sort of daily as I'm working on cars and stuff, so make sure you keep up to date. And by following me, you'll also have the opportunity to ask me questions in the future for future Q&A. So let's get started. Liam Wilson asks, what is my favourite car I've owned since I've been driving? Funnily enough, my favourite car that I've owned is actually the Mondeo. My most recent purchase. I've only had it for what, 2 weeks? And it's already my favourite car that I've ever owned. It's so practical, it's so fun, and I actually really enjoy the car. So the answer to that is definitely the Mondeo. Question from N21_IRS says, are you going to do any videos on wrapping car roofs? I want to do mine and I think you'd explain it best. I've never wrapped a car before, so the chance of me explaining the wrapping process the best is probably not the case. I highly recommend just searching on YouTube for car wrapping videos. There's lots of different videos out there of people wrapping cars that'll explain that a lot better than I will. So I may do it one day to one of my cars. I would actually love to do the roof of the Mondeo black, because there's a lot of black accents on the car already, so I think a black roof would actually look quite cool. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. So no, I won't be doing a video explaining how to do it, but I may do a video in the future showing me doing it and probably failing at doing it as well. Steve J. Mariva Man has asked, any other cars you would like to buy in the future for projects? I don't really tend to look too far in the future for cars. Obviously I've got a list of cars that are sort of dream projects, but at the minute I'm quite happy with where I am. The Mondeo is a great project and it's done really well on the channel so far, so I'm not really looking too far into the future. However, there is a bunch of bigger and better cars than even the Mondeo that I do want to get my hands on at some point, and if the channel keeps growing the way it is, then that is very likely to happen, so make sure you look out for them in the future. I can't pronounce your name, but Erik Gotten is how I think it's spelt, says, how's your day been? My day's been good. I was actually planning on filming a better video for today. Q&As are sort of like filler videos for me. I don't really like to count them as a proper video, but it's so cold today, it's so foggy. My plan today was to do like a GoPro video where I was going to drive the Mondeo, have a GoPro on my head, get lots of fancy shots and outside shots and exhaust shots and stuff, but the weather today is just not allowing me to do that. I didn't have any videos edited or anything, so that's why I'm doing a Q&A today. But other than that, my day has been good. Thank you very much. Oliver Watson says, will you ever do a classic car on the channel? I would love to do a classic car on the channel. That is probably more than likely to happen with like a me and my dad project once the trike is all done. My dad likes classic cars, I like classic cars, so it would probably be best for us to do one together. Classic cars are usually as well a lot more involved and a lot more long-term projects, so they're usually sort of rusty, so they need body work and all that stuff. It's something that I'd love to do with my dad, because again I could just go over like I do with the trike and do bits and pieces together. So classic car is probably definitely on the cards at some point. I know there's a bunch of stuff that my dad would like to get, and there's a bunch of stuff I'd like to get my hands on as well when it comes to classic cars, so expect a classic car video series project at some point, because it's more than likely going to happen. Sam DM Smith says, do you think making YouTube videos has improved your general confidence? I would say that it probably has. If any of you have ever made YouTube videos before, or you've attempted to make YouTube videos before, talking to a camera, sort of holding it out here, whilst you're on your own, can be pretty daunting, especially when you know that it's going to be going out to thousands of people, and those thousands of people are going to be watching and scrutinizing you and picking every little bit of the video and possibly criticizing you as well. So you got to have a thick skin, you got to be confident, and having confidence in front of the camera, I feel like when I'm watching videos, if someone is confident in front of the camera, it really does come over well in the video, and the video just seems to be all round better when the person is more confident on the camera. So I would say I'm a fairly confident person anyway in sort of normal life. I'm not really too shy with talking to people and stuff like that, so I'd say it's probably helped. Danny Boy 37 says, if you sold the Astra, how much would you sell it for? PS, love the videos, appreciate it, thank you for the support. The Astra is not for sale as of yet, however it has been going around in the back of my head asking myself, do I really need it anymore? Since the Mondeo has come on the scene, the Astra videos have dwindled, as you've probably noticed. I think I've done one since I've owned the Mondeo. There's not really an awful lot I want to do to it anymore. I have got a 5-star conversion that I would like to do to it at some point, just to use it. I have also got some snowflake wheels that I also want to put on it. But all my money and time has been going towards Mondeo, as you can expect with a newer car on the channel. It's been doing better view-wise than Mondeo has, so the Astra has sort of taken a back seat, which is a shame. But I don't have any plans to sell it immediately. But if I did sell it, it wouldn't go for very much because they're not worth very much anymore. Josh Mark 3 SXI says, would you ever get a BMW petrol or diesel? I do like BMW 3 Series, and that is probably what I'd get if I was to get a BMW. I'm not a massive fan of BMWs in general, but I would like a 3 Series if I get my hands on one. Chicken Joe _1 says, have you got any more plans for the Focus? And love the videos. I appreciate it, Joe, thank you very much. I haven't got any more plans immediately for the Focus. To be fair, my money is better spent on the Mondeo or some other project like the Fiesta. The Focus is like the bottom model, it's the LX model. There's not really any point in chucking a bunch of money at that. If I was to chuck a bunch of money at a Focus, I would want to get like a better model Focus and then do it. There's just not a lot of point in putting a load of money into that car because it's just not worth that much. ST150 James says, have you decided what you want to do with the Fiesta, engine swap or sell? I haven't got, again, any immediate plans for the Fiesta. My plan over winter was to do all the jobs that I wanted to do whilst I was driving it. I've got a bunch of parts in my shed that need to go on that car. However, I haven't had the time to do it because I've been driving the car. However, now the car is off the road, but the weather has just gone way downhill and that project has been put off. But now that Mondeo is on the road and the Astra is on the road, I want to get the Fiesta in the place on the driveway main stage so that I can get working on that. As soon as the weather picks up and as soon as it's warm enough to go outside and your hands don't get numb within 5 minutes, the Fiesta is going to get moved and it will become the project, and I've got a bunch of stuff to do to that, so look forward to that. But no engine swaps, and I won't be selling it anytime soon either because it's my little baby. I kind of want the Mondeo and the Fiesta to be my 2 main cars on the channel. I want that to sort of be the main focus of my channel, and then I'll have other bits dotted around it. Retro Chef 82 says, would you sort out a meet for your fellow YouTubers to see and buy your merch? Now, doing my first ever Savage Garage meet is very high on my list of things that I want to get done for this year. If there's enough people around the Norfolk area that would attend a meet, I would love to start putting something together and getting a meet going. Because believe it or not, even with 41,000 subscribers or whatever I'm at the moment, I've never actually met a subscriber whilst I'm out and about, and I would love for the opportunity to do so. So if there's enough people that write in the comments that they'd like to do a Norfolk meet, somewhere in Norfolk, don't know where, but I'll arrange something if there's enough people to do so. I'd love to take them on day, show people in real life, and also look at everybody else's cars as well. So let me know if that is a thing, and I'll start to get something organised. And JC49 Car Cleaning says, what's your future plans for the channel? That is a big question, and I could probably make a whole video just speaking about that. Basically, the way I see the channel going is I don't want to sway too far from sort of where my channel has been and what it's been about from the very beginning. I love fixing cars. I love bringing older cars that could probably end up going to the scrapyard back to life. It's something that I am passionate about and I really love it. So I don't want to sway too far away from that. That's definitely always going to be an aspect of the channel, is fixing cars that most people would just go, scrap man, come pick it up, don't want it anymore. That is sort of my forte and that's what I love to do. However, there is other things that I would want to introduce to the channel. I'd like to start doing car reviews. If there's anyone in my area, in Norfolk area, that would like to get their car reviewed, hit me up on Instagram or something, because that's something I want to start to do. I will just continue to do what I enjoy doing. I'll be doing my own projects, I'll be helping my dad with his projects. 2019 is going to be a big year for going to like different car shows, classic car shows, anything that's in my area, car related. I want to be going there and I want to be getting footage of it. So expect lots more outside vlogging, not just sort of driveway vlogging anymore. I want to be out at shows, at classic car shows. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the Norfolk area that's related to cars, so expect a lot of outside vlogs, especially in the summer. I really want to hit up a lot of places this year and get a lot of great content, so expect that. But other than that, I just want to keep growing. I want to stay humble and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. Vlad.cristian says, plans for the Astra, maybe change the colour or wrap it. I actually would like to teach myself how to vinyl wrap. I know I answered a question about wrapping earlier, about wrapping a roof, but I would actually love to teach myself how to vinyl wrap. I know there's a few other people on YouTube that have taught themselves, have just bought the vinyl, had a car, wrap the car and they've taught themselves how to do it. I would love to get my hands on some vinyl and just give it a go, and the Astra is probably a good test subject to do that on, because the paintwork isn't great anyway, so wrapping over that colour wouldn't be too bad. So if there's anyone out there that would enjoy to see a wrapping video, maybe when the weather gets better I will get some vinyl and just give it a go, see if we can change the colour of an Astra. Let me know in the comments what you think the colour of the Astra should be if I was to change it. Vlad Christian again also asks, what happened to the angel eyes on the Astra? I actually meant to touch on this question whilst I was doing my last Astra video. The angel eye headlights came off the car because, you know, on a headlight when you can adjust the beam, so you can adjust up and down by using the screws on the headlight. I was adjusting the screw because one of them was sort of too low and I wanted to get them to match. So I had the car parked up against the garage and one was sort of down like this. I went to adjust the screw and the little cog on the back which moves it up and down fell off. And so I couldn't adjust it, and it also, not only did it fall off, but this headlight went boop, 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 and now it points at the ground. So I didn't want to drive around like that, but I couldn't see where I was driving, so I quickly whipped the old ones back on just so I can see where I was going. Darren Lynch says, any plans to get a unit / garage or build a garage at your home to save working in the cold, etc. Now this has been probably the worst year for cold for me. Previous years I didn't really feel the cold. I remember just being outside and working on the cars and not really caring too much about the weather. However, this year, not sure if it's my age showing or what, but the cold has really affected the way, not just my motivation, but the way that I've been working on cars. It's so miserable to be working on a car with your hands numb, trying to film it, trying to look still positive, because when you're filming you don't want to look, well, mopey and sad. You want to come across fairly positive in the video. So just this year has been awful for the cold and it's really affected me. So I would love, if the channel keeps growing the way it is, I would love at some point, I've actually looked into it a little bit already, to get a garage or a unit or something. The chances of something being built on the house are very slim. There's just not enough room here to really build a garage. There's like no room down the side of the house, there's not really any room out the front, and you can't really build a garage on your driveway essentially. So a garage being built here is unlikely. However, I would love to get a unit. Preferably I would like to share a unit with someone just so that you can split the costs, because units are not cheap. You're looking at the least £600 a month. So it's about the same to rent a house as it is to rent a unit. So if I could half those costs with someone and share a unit, then I'd be well up for it. So maybe later this year, maybe next year, I would love to get myself a unit if there was someone that was willing to split costs and share one with me somewhere in the Norfolk or Norwich area. If there is anyone out there that's also looking, hit me up on Instagram and let me know, because that might be something I'm interested in. Boaz Varco says, does pineapple belong on pizza? Absolutely it does. It's a controversial comment, but I love a ham and pineapple pizza. I always have done, so yes, I feel like it does belong on pizza. Ross Lee says, when are you going to wash the Mondeo? Trust me, I have been waiting and waiting to wash the Mondeo, and the reason I haven't done it is not because it's too cold and it's not because of the weather, but a company has sent me out some cleaning products to review, and I wanted the car to be as dirty as possible so that I get a fair comparison from the video. There's no point in sort of washing a clean car with cleaning products because you don't know how well they're going to work. So I've purposely left the car to get the dirt all ground in, and it's atrocious at the minute. The car is absolutely filthy. There's mud all the way down it. But very soon I am planning on filming a video reviewing a few detailing products with my friends. So I look forward to that. That should be a good video, and I can't wait to get the car clean, because every time I go out and look at it, it makes me cringe. It's awful. Sheldon987 says, would you collab with Lee Lockwood? I would, but he lives very far away. He lives in, I think he lives in near Manchester or somewhere, so he's pretty far away from me. It's probably about 5 hours drive, so it might happen at some point, but not in the foreseeable future, just because it's such a mission to get there. Dennis Coco 21 says, some tips for someone who really wants to work on the car but is too scared to do it. Now, I've had this question so many times. It's all about confidence, getting as much knowledge as you can before you start working on the car, and have a backup plan for if anything goes wrong. Now, having confidence is key, because you just need to jump in and do it. If you really want to do it, you need to just jump in and do it. Just be confident, and that comes with the backup plan. Make sure you've got a plan B, or if you've got a spare car. What I always recommend for people that want to start working on cars is look on Facebook, look on Gumtree, buy yourself a car that costs what, 100 quid, buy something that's about to go to the scrapyard, buy that and just change some bits on it. Take bits off, put them back on, change some seals on it. It's inexpensive stuff. Just do some little bits, get your hands dirty, and that will give you the confidence to see how easy some stuff actually is. So buy a cheap car, take bits off, put them back on, and see how you get on. Ollie Leaper says, how did you learn to work on cars? Did you go to college? No, I did not go to college. I've answered this question quite a few times before. I'm completely self-taught. I just decided that I wanted to fix a car one day. I always liked watching videos of people on YouTube fixing cars, so I thought, I can do that. Gave it a go one day and haven't looked back since. I now fix all of my cars, some of my friends' cars and family's cars, and I just learned a heck of a lot in the time I've been doing it. Only, what, 4 or 5 years probably I've been working on cars, and I've learned a heck of a lot. So it just goes to show that you don't need a college qualification if you just want to work on cars yourself. You can teach yourself, so have faith. Clacko95 says, what has been your hardest, most involved task to do with cars? I'd probably say the 1.8 conversion on the Corsa. There was quite a lot to do there. Not only did you have to switch out the engine, but there was the wiring loom and stuff, and I was pretty new to it then, so I would probably say the 1.8 conversion, even though it is all plug and play, and it is easy stuff, but so far that's probably the most involved. In fact, actually no, I lie. The piston rings and the rebuild on the engine on the Astra is probably the most involved thing, because I rebuilt the head, and then obviously did the piston rings. I redid the cylinders and stuff in the engines. That's probably the most tricky and most involved job that I've done so far, but it all paid off. Right, so I've had to quickly just switch positions for the last few questions. So I'm going to answer a few more and then we will wrap this video up. Lou Cartwright asks, what are your future plans for the Mondeo? Hybrid turbo would certainly make it fun. You are not wrong there, Lou. A hybrid turbo is probably the route I'm going to go down eventually. I've only owned the car 2 weeks and I really want to make sure that the car is mechanically sound before I start doing any performance modifications to it. I also need to find out if the car is actually remapped. I was told by the previous owner that it has been remapped, but I don't really have any paperwork or dyno runs or anything like that to tell me that it has been. So I have reached out to a local performance company to see if they can tell me if the car is remapped and how much power it's running or anything like that. So once I find that out, then we can start planning performance upgrades later down the line. ST225_Lewis said, if you had £1 for every time someone asks you what you do for a living, how much money would you have? I'll tell you what, I would never have to work again, I think. I get comments on the daily asking me what it is I do for a living. So I'll finally answer that question for you to end this Q&A. What do I do for a living? People can finally stop asking me that question in Q&As. I'm actually I don't know what happened there, I think the camera cut out. Right, we're going to end the video there. Thank you all so much for your questions. I really appreciate every single one of you that took your time out to ask me something. If you want the chance to ask me questions in the future, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll do a Q&A maybe in like a couple of months. I like to do it every couple of months just so I can answer your guys' questions. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you subscribe for future content. Lots more Mondeo stuff coming very soon. I'll see you guys in the next one.